You've been told you need pricey supplements, fancy gadgets, and strict diets to live long. This 104-year-old says otherwise. In the next few minutes, I'll walk you through her exact morning routine. The sunrise walk, a pinch of salt water sip, gentle mobility, and a 2-minute gratitude pause. That has kept her thriving for a century. One habit slashes inflammation, another rewires your circadian clock, and all of it costs nothing. Let's break down each step and see why the latest health fads miss the mark for everyone today. Why the basics matter. Ignoring your body's natural rhythms exacts a hidden toll. Chronic sleep debt keeps cortisol high, which erodes muscle, spikes blood pressure, and weakens immunity. Studies show that constant exposure to artificial light raises inflammation markers and shortens telomeres. When your internal clock is out of sync, every cell works harder, and that extra effort adds up to years of wear and tear. Without this rhythm, you also experience mood swings and reduced cognitive sharpness, making daily tasks feel exhausting. Consistently honoring this rhythm also improves memory retention and emotional resilience. What she does first. At dawn, she steps outside for a 10-minute walk facing east. No phone, no earbuds, just birds and the brightening sky. The natural blue light hits the retina, tells the suprachiasmatic nucleus to reset the circadian clock, smooths cortisol, deepens sleep, and lifts serotonin naturally. She also inhales deeply at the midpoint, letting oxygen reset her nervous system. How to replicate. Copy it in 3 steps. Set your alarm 30 minutes earlier. Keep curtains closed until you're ready. Then open the door as soon as the sky lightens. Walk slowly for 10 minutes. Eyes facing the sunrise when possible. In cloudy areas, seek the brightest spot or a balcony with unobstructed light. Skip indoor lighting during this window. LEDs can confuse the signal. The goal is pure daylight that tells your brain it's day. Start winding down melatonin. If chilly, wear layers. Goal: movement, not sweating. A stretch after the walk further awakens muscles, ensuring circulation before the day begins. Why hydration is critical. After sunrise, the next pillar is water. You lose a quarter liter overnight, lowering blood volume and making the heart work harder. Proper hydration lubricates joints, supports cartilage, and keeps the lymphatic system clearing waste. Something detox teas promise, but usually add sugar. Simply put, water is the cheapest, most effective anti-aging tool. What she drinks. She fills a glass of room temperature water and adds a pinch, about a quarter teaspoon, of unrefined sea salt. The salt provides sodium and magnesium, helping cells retain fluid and fire nerves. To make it, pour 250 ml of water, sprinkle the salt, stir 10 seconds, and sip slowly. The taste is barely there, but blood pressure steadies and osmotic balance improves, easing cramps later. This mineral boost also supports healthy blood pressure and electrolyte balance. How to integrate. Turn it into a habit by placing the glass on your nightstand before sleep. When the alarm sounds, grab it before you swing your legs out of bed and finish the sip within 5 minutes. This primes your gut before coffee or tea, avoiding the sugar spikes from detox coffee substitutes. If you like flavor, add a lemon slice or cucumber, but skip added sugars. Once the body's clock and fluids are aligned, she moves on to movement that anyone can do and ready. Why most modern fitness ads push brutal heat or pricey equipment is simple. They sell drama, not durability. For a body past 80, every high-impact rep creates microscopic tears that heal slower, raising inflammation and stressing joints. Chronic sympathetic activation from intense bursts also spikes cortisol, which over years erodes bone density and impairs immune function. In contrast, gentle, joint-friendly movement keeps synovial fluid flowing, preserves range of motion, and triggers the parasympathetic rest-hound digest mode that actually supports cellular repair. That's the physiological reason a centenarian can thrive on a 5-minute flow, while a 30-year-old chases a 10-minute sprint. What she does each sunrise is a 5-minute mobility flow that anyone can perform on a bedroom floor. She begins with a neck roll, chin to chest, ear to shoulder, then a slow full circle clockwise and back counterclockwise. 3 repetitions each side. Next, come shoulder shrugs. Lift both shoulders up toward the ears. Hold 2 seconds. Then release down 10 reps. She follows with ankle circles. Lift 1 foot. Draw 10 large circles clockwise, then 10 counterclockwise. Then switch feet. The sequence ends with a gentle forward fold. Hands reaching toward the floor, holding for 5 breaths. Every movement is paired with a deep inhale through the nose and a slow exhale through the mouth, creating a rhythm that calms the nervous system. How you can nail the flow is a matter of posture and breath. Stand with feet hip-width apart, spine tall, shoulders relaxed. For the neck roll, keep the chin slightly tucked to protect the throat and move in a fluid motion. No jerking. Inhale as you begin the circle. Exhale at the top of each half turn. For shoulder shrugs, avoid rolling forward. Simply lift straight up. Pause, then let the weight drop. Keep the shoulders loose, not tense. For ankle circles, hold onto a chair if balance is shaky, but let the movement originate from the ankle joint, not the whole leg. Complete 10 circles each direction before switching feet. A frequent mistake is rushing the sequence because you think speed equals benefit. Slow, controlled repetitions maximize synovial fluid circulation and keep cortisol low. If you feel any sharp pain, stop. That's a sign you're overstretching and should reduce range of motion. Why breath is the power behind this routine is that diaphragmatic inhalations activate the vagus nerve, flipping the autonomic balance toward parasympathetic dominance. Within a minute of breathing, heart rate drops, blood pressure eases, and inflammatory markers begin to recede. Compare that with a HIIT-only session, where the surge can linger for 20 minutes, leaving you jittery and hungry for caffeine. The centenarian ends her flow with a 3-second pause, a full inhale, and an exhale that feels like a reset button. That single breath cycle is an anti-aging hack because it lowers cortisol without any supplements. What she adds after the flow is a functional, light activity that ties movement to purpose. She steps out to her balcony and tends a small herb garden, snipping rosemary, watering basil, turning the soil. Those actions engage the forearms, improve grip strength, and expose her skin to a dose of natural vitamin D, which supports bone health and immune function. The gardening also adds a mild aerobic component because she's moving continuously, yet the intensity stays low enough to avoid joint strain. How you can adapt this to an apartment or a city flat is straightforward. If you don't have a balcony, bring a few potted plants indoors and water them each morning. The act of lifting the pot works as a light resistance exercise. If stairs are available, do a slow step up for 1 minute. Place 1 foot on the step, straighten the leg, then lower, alternating sides. For those with limited space, chair-based stretches work just as well. Seated torso twists, seated leg extensions, and wrist circles. The key is to keep the movement purposeful, low impact, and paired with conscious breathing. When you finish, you'll notice a subtle warmth in your muscles and a calmer mind, setting the stage for the mental portion of the routine that follows. Why mental clutter is a silent daily aging accelerator is something most productivity gurus ignore. When you start the day scrolling headlines or juggling a to-do list, the brain releases cortisol and adrenaline, hormones that keep you in a constant state of alert. Chronic exposure to that stress cascade accelerates telomere shortening, impairs immune surveillance, and makes you more prone to anxiety-related inflammation. In other words, a noisy mind adds years to your biological clock faster than any missed workout. What she does instead is a 2-minute gratitude pause that fits on a single index card. She pulls the card from the nightstand, writes 3 things she's thankful for, often a person, a simple pleasure, and a recent accomplishment, and then folds it back over. The act of physically recording gratitude shifts attention from lack to abundance, which triggers a dopamine release that brightens mood without any caffeine spike. It also creates a concrete memory anchor that the brain revisits throughout the day, reinforcing positive neural pathways. How you can keep this habit frictionless is to strip away every digital cue. Use a plain pen, not a stylus, and limit yourself to the single card. No bullet lists, no prompts, no apps. Write quickly, mindfully in a sentence or two, and close the card before you move on to the next step. The common mistake is overthinking the gratitude items, which turns a micro-win into a mental chore and defeats the purpose of a quick mood lifter. Why she skips the morning news is that negative headlines spike adrenaline and create an anxiety loop. 10 minutes of doom-laden scrolling can raise cortisol by up to 30%, enough to impair glucose regulation and significantly increase blood pressure. By staying offline for the first 30 minutes, she protects her nervous system, keeps heart rate stable, and preserves mental bandwidth for the intentional practices that follow. What she adds after gratitude is a short mantra: "I'm steady, I'm strong," repeated while sipping her saltwater drink. The phrase is easy to remember and activates the brain's reward circuit, reinforcing self-efficacy. She then caps the mental start with a 30-second breath meditation. Eyes closed. Inhale 4 counts. Hold 2. Exhale 6. Repeat twice. That brief pause shifts brainwaves from beta, stress, to alpha, calm, sharpening focus for the day. How to embed this trio into your routine is to stage each element in the same spot. Keep the index card on the nightstand, the water glass on the bedside table, and the mantra on a sticky note above the lamp. When you wake, the cues trigger the sequence automatically. The common slip-up is postponing gratitude because you feel rushed. If that happens, set a 2-minute timer and right before you move on. Once you start, momentum carries you through. A sunrise walk, a pinch of salt water sip, 5-minute mobility flow, and a 2-minute gratitude pause give you the same longevity edge that costly fads claim to sell. Try it tomorrow. Comment your results and hit subscribe for more science-backed longevity hacks. If you feel the difference, share your story below and check out the next video where we break down the afternoon routine that keeps her energy soaring all day.